On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this is the Fight for Iowa podcast, brought to you by Athletico Physical Therapy, Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Buffalo Wild Wings, Iowa's Corn Farmers, Quick Star, Green State Credit Union, and by Extreme from Mediacom. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
We keep the basketball theme intact for another week here on Fight for Iowa. I tracked down Hawkeye star guard Jordan Bohannon for a visit. Nobody is more anxious to resume competition than the all-Big Ten sharpshooter, who is within 100 made threes of becoming the league's all-time best. Bohannon continues to rehab from corrective surgery to both hips that led to a redshirt year in 2019. You'll hear from Jordan Bohannon next.
More Fight for Iowa after this.
Despite living in uncertain times, Iowa's corn farmers remain optimistic that their now planted crop will grow to feed livestock, fuel your vehicle with ethanol, and be part of over 4,000 products that you use every day. The Iowa corn farmer plays a vital role in our state, and we are proud to call Iowa home. You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Athletico Physical Therapy remains open to safely provide physical and occupational therapy treatment options in clinic and online during COVID-19. Delaying treatment could mean additional expenses and prolonged pain. Visit athletico.com. Request an appointment in clinic or virtually through a secure online video chat via FaceTime or Zoom and start feeling better tomorrow.
Now back to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Iowa floor leader Jordan Bohannon is in isolation with his teammates after 2 Hawkeyes tested positive this week for COVID-19. College basketball teams were allowed to begin workouts on July 20th, but Iowa has now put those on hold for 14 days, the first college program to do so. Jordan Bohannon is confident this latest setback will not disrupt the team's progress.
Yeah, we've been doing really well. We've had entire summer of workouts already, which I don't think a lot of people realize. We didn't really have any negative headlines for our basketball team dealing with COVID. So we had a full summer of lifting, and we're in the gym, playing open gym together. So we only had three weeks left, I think, of these practices left. So really, it's kind of still upsetting, but, we still got a lot of time in with the team, and we're looking forward to what happens next.
I guess you guys have only been back together, at least with the coaches now and some other outside interests face-to-face for just a few days. I guess it was almost inevitable that this was going to happen, huh?
Yeah, we were, I was talking to Brad about that a couple weeks ago.
Brad Floyd, the Hawkeye trainer.
Yeah. Yep, our trainer. And, it was just kind of a matter of time where we thought something was going to happen. It's just kind of hard to quarantine, I guess, college athletes, just they're back on college campuses, but they're going to be around people and things are going to happen on the outside. So we figured it was only a matter of time. But, like I said, we did get through a lot of the summer without any problems.
And to your point, you've done a lot of lifting sessions, a lot of, one-on-one, a lot of shooting drills here during this lockdown period. So it's not like you haven't seen the guys or each other. I guess my question would be, since this is the first time you've gone through this quarantine deal, how are you communicating? Are you communicating with the coaches and your teammates with each other? What do you do? Go back to Zoom conferences?
We actually haven't really talked much about that, but I'm assuming these next 2 weeks we'll have some contact with the coaches. I'm sure the coaches are pretty upset knowing that we only got about a week with them. But, like I said, we had all summer. We were able to work out and get our team chemistry down. And that's probably the next step. We'll just keep communicating as a team and, doing whatever we can to try to keep our bodies in shape these next 2 weeks.
Well, how are the hips doing? How's your stamina trying to, as best you can, to get back into the routine of being a big-time college basketball player? The hips feeling good?
Yeah, hips feeling really good. I haven't had any problems yet with them. Got back practicing for the first time this last week, and I was kind of out of shape, but a lot of what I did this last summer was, especially after this last surgery, was work on my body and try to lose kind of the fat I had around and kind of lean down quite a bit. So I got down, I think I'm down 12 to 13 pounds now, and just working on, like I said, just trying to be the most conditioned person on the court like I've always been.
More Fight for Iowa after this.
The dining rooms in all Buffalo Wild Wings in Iowa are now open. To ensure your safety, all high touchpoint areas will be cleaned with increased frequency. Tables have been repositioned to allow for a minimum of 6 feet of separation. And all menus, cutlery, and cups are now single use. We look forward to seeing you back at Buffalo Wild Wings soon. We're brought to you today by Green State Credit Union. Green State Credit Union is with you during these times of uncertainty. Membership is open to all Iowans, so visit greenstate.org, greenstate.org, and learn more about ways we can be of service to you. Green State Credit Union, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Now back to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
And it's not like you left completely. I think of the final few road trips we had to end the regular season last February, March. You were around the team. You were in street clothes. You did a lot of almost assistant coaching from the bench. You watched a lot of basketball after your second hip surgery. I'm sure Hawk fans would like to know, how did that role change for you, or how did you benefit from watching from the bench, from cheering your teammates on in the huddle, from watching practice? What'd you learn that perhaps maybe you didn't realize before when you were out on the floor all the time?
Well, at first I learned how fast we play. I didn't really realize that. When you're out there, you just go with the flow of the game, and we've always played a fast pace. And when I sat on the sideline this year, I realized how fast we truly play and how up and down the college basketball game is. And, it's crazy because when I get out there, everything's so slow down in my mind. You don't really think about things twice. But, I kind of got from that perspective from the outside, from the sideline, that, a lot of it's just it's a fast-paced game. But when you get out there, you got to slow down a little bit and realize what you're doing. And I was able to kind of take that step back and try to help the younger guys. And, I think Joe Toussaint progressed phenomenally as the year went on.
He sure did. Luca Garza was good from the get-go, and Luca plays fast, too. You know what his heart and soul are all about when it comes to Iowa basketball. I'm guessing watching him run baseline to baseline was even more impressive.
Yeah, and, everyone's kind of said that, how slow and athletic the kid is when he got here, and I don't think he really is, truly. Looking from freshman to junior year, how much he's improved from lateral quickness to be able to run up down the floor. I mean, there wasn't a lot of big guys in the country that was able to keep up with him when they were running up and down the floor this year.
Luca, it sounds like he's going to have an announcement here in the short term about his future, either returning to Iowa or heading to the professional ranks. And it's been such an odd year for him in terms of his prep, trying to figure out what he wants to do, and we all understand that. So we've given him space to think it through, and whatever decision he makes, it'll be the right one. And, if I asked you to create a picture of Luca Garza as a basketball player and a human being, Jordan, what would your impressions be?
Just the ultimate basketball player, and he's an even better person off the floor. He's able to carry himself even through all the accolades and recognition he got this past year. He stayed grounded. And, I thought it was funny. We were at lifting about a couple of weeks ago, and this was when we were in the middle of a lift, just got done with our warm-up. We were getting ready to start one of our compound lifts, and Luca goes up to the strength coach and says, "Hey, can I go to the bathroom real quick?" And, I just thought that was funny because that's kind of the kid Luca is. He doesn't really think he's above anyone. He went to the person above and asked if he had to go to the bathroom or ran off during the lift. And I just thought that was pretty funny, because, he could have just left and went to the bathroom, but, he just asked like he was a little kid in elementary school still. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Good manners, very polite. He was brought up well by mom and dad, but that's good stuff. We're talking with Jordan Bohannon, of course, Iowa's all-time three-point shooter, all Big Tenor, and the pride of Linn-Mar High School up in Cedar Rapids and Marion. And Jordan, it'd be great to get Jordan back on the floor this year. One guy who won't be there is, if not your best friend on the team, he's certainly close to that, and that's Ryan Kriener. We feel terrible for all the seniors that didn't get to taste postseason and what was a special year for Iowa basketball. Hopefully, we can have a full year this coming year. But Ryan, because he was a graduating senior, did not get that chance to play in the postseason. I know you feel terrible for him.
Yeah, it sucks. He just moved out here this last Saturday, and kind of just hit me on that Sunday when he was gone that all his stuff was moved out. And I walked to my room and looked in for a second. I was like, dang, it's crazy how fast times go. I mean, I just remember my freshman year when we moved in together in our dorm in Dom summer year, and feels just like yesterday. We just kind of started knowing each other even more and got to this point, and we were just talking about before he left, right when he was leaving the door, how it seems like we were just shorter of our last year together. It just didn't seem right how it ended, and I feel terrible for the kid because how hard he worked. Being a kid from Iowa, wanting to play at Iowa ever since he was a little kid, watching Iowa play, and how it ended. It was just really, really terrible, and it sucks.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It does suck, but Ryan's a tough guy. He's well grounded, and we know that he'll use that as a positive going forward in his future, whether it's playing basketball or doing something else professionally. And we wish him the very best, along with Bakari Evelyn and that senior class. To present day, obviously Luca Garza is a story in and of itself. But whether Luca returns or not, and obviously selfishly we hope he does, what's your impressions of the team? You mentioned Joe Toussaint, who might have been the pleasant surprise of the year, he and Bakari and CJ, but with those guys returning, with Joe Wieskamp, Jack Nunge comes back, 5 terrific recruits come in. I know you probably haven't given it much thought given the present day circumstances of just getting through the COVID and the pandemic, but guys got to be excited, aren't you?
Yeah, we're really excited. We had really competitive practices this last week, and I think it really set a bar for how our potential can be coming into the season. This might be the first time in a while that Iowa's had this high of expectations coming in preseason, and obviously there's still a lot of unknowns, but this group here is really grounded and willing to keep working and not really getting into those high expectations. We've always had outside noise. I think this group has always done a great job of kind of blocking that no matter what.
That's a great point, because if I've been hit with this question once, I've been hit with it 25 times this year with all the preseason top 10, top 5 rankings for the Hawks. Of course, fans tend to hand wring and wring their hands a lot and go, oh my goodness, are they going to be able to handle the pressure? And I thought, well, just look back to the last couple of years and how well they've done. And a lot of it has to do with Jordan Bohannon's toughness. I think the guys feed off that. But you look at Wieskamp and CJ and Garza and Toussaint, there's not a tougher group in the Big Ten. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, for sure. And that's something I really realized when I was sitting on the sideline, how tough these guys battled. The Big Ten was such a grind last year. It's probably a conference season that we haven't seen for a while, when 2 through 13 was really a dogfight every single night. And that was kind of the first time in a while that every single game, every second of the game really mattered. We keep saying that every year in, year out, but last year was just on a totally different level. And you saw the guys, I think they took it to another gear that towards the bottom half of that season.
Well, especially when you were done for the year after the Iowa State game, and extra special, Connor McCaffery kind of assumed the Jordan Bohannon mentality, I thought. And not that Connor wasn't tough before that, but the year he had running the team from the point, from the wing, didn't matter. I just can't exhort enough how solid of a defender he was, what a great distributor he was. And literally, he was the glue guy.
Yeah, that's something I think he really bought into his role. And I think the last couple of years he was just trying to figure out his role, how he could fit in the team. And, there's a lot of outside noise around him. And I think last year he really bought into his role, and he really established that. And he became that guy that everyone wanted to play with on the floor, because he was just going to be up in the guy's face. He's going to be talking crap to their team. And no matter who's in front of him, whether he's playing the 5 position or playing the 1 position, he's going to do everything he can to help the team win.
Such a valuable asset, and obviously the coach's son, so he studies the game unlike most. As we wrap things up here with Jordan Bohannon, Hawkeye star guard, a couple more on-court questions. The 284 career three-point goals, that's a school record. The Big Ten record is 374. John Diebler at Ohio State has that, but certainly Jordan has a shot at that given a full season of health. More important to you, because you tied, you'll be forever known as for the free throw miss rather than the 34 straight that kept you and Chris Street tied. It was just a great show of sportsmanship. What's more important, your jump shot or your clutch free throw shooting at the end of games like Iowa State, or are they on an equal plane?
That's a tough question. I've always prided myself on free throw shooting. When I was growing up, my dad used to heckle me nonstop if I ever missed a free throw in a game, So even when I was doing my workouts as a kid and going through high school, every time I missed a free throw in workouts, I'd run, do an extra lap or push up. So, I think that mentality kind of shifted really when I got to college. But, coming from this last year, my junior year, 2 years ago, I should say, the jump shot's really been huge for me coming down the clutch positions. I mean, it's always been how Coach Burrell always said how guards were the main guys towards the end of the game, late shot clock. They always got to hit the important shot. And I think I kind of realized that my junior year that I need to start stepping up and trying to make those shots, or trying to take those shots, and I think I kind of had that mentality in junior year, and I think going forward, I think I need to keep having that mentality.
I forget what Coach said it best. You got to want to take it if you're going to make it, and I think
exactly
the point about you want to be in that moment, you want to be in that position, and Jordan Bohannon's all that. As we wrap it up, some things maybe you don't know about Jordan. He's a passionate lover of the game of golf, and I understand you've been hitting it pretty good off the tee here lately.
Yeah, I've had a lot of time, and being able to social distance while you golf, I think that's kind of improved my golf game. So every day in the summer, I've been trying to get out there and play. Good
for you. You're kind of fanatical about video games too, and Fortnite's been around a while, but I mean, is that still your number one video passion, Fortnite?
If you asked me 3 months ago, I would say yes, because when we were all in quarantine, locked down in the country, I probably played 10 to 13 hours a day. And now I think I'm a little burned out, to say the least, Dolph.
You may need bifocals after
exactly.
That. Hopefully not, at least not for a few years. Jordan, we appreciate your time, bud, on our Fight for Iowa podcast. We'll come back to wrap things up here on this week's show right after this brief pause.
More Fight for Iowa after this.
Fight for Iowa is brought to you by Quickstar. Quickstar is committed to serving our communities and ensuring access to all essentials during these challenging times. They'll continue to provide fresh milk, bread, eggs, butter, and more, as well as your hot food favorites, including pizza. Quickstar's got you covered when you want to get in and out quickly and safely back home. Thank you, Quickstar. Today, your internet connection is more important than ever. Extreme, powered by Mediacom, has the speed you need with 99.9% network reliability. Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company is proud to support the local communities in which we live, work, and play. Every day, Atlantic Coca-Cola bottling trucks continue to help the food and beverage supply chain by delivering products to retail outlets and those restaurants providing carry-out and delivery services. We know Iowans are resilient, and together we are stronger.
Now back to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Another big thanks to Iowa's high-achieving skilled guard Jordan Bohannon for appearing on Fight for Iowa. Iowa football is scheduled for its first team workout August 7th. Then the season will be just a month away, we hope. Please join us for that discussion next on Fight for Iowa.